all those moments will be lost in time.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna do something that's a little bit of a hybrid compared to what I usually do. So I wanted to talk about the Toronto van attack, and then I wanted to talk about incels in relation to the Toronto van attack. So obviously the van attack was a tragic occurrence. There's nothing funny about that. Alec Minashian, I don't know how to pronounce his name, whatever, the guy who did this apparently was specifically targeting women from the ages of 20 to 80. So the attacker posted onto his Facebook saying that the incel rebellion has already begun. We will overthrow all the Chads and Stacys. All hail the supreme gentleman, Elliot Rodger. Now, if this had happened at any other time, I would have thought that this was a meme or satirical, because you wouldn't think that someone would get to that level of craziness and desperation and just straight up misogyny, yet here we are. So in case you don't know, Stacys and Chads are essentially the stereotypical attractive male and female as far as I understand, or should I say femoid, since that's what incels call us. Anyway, so on BBC they put this video showing the attacker actually being confronted by the police and holding something like it would look like he's holding a gun, but he's actually not holding a gun. It's just something, and you see him getting taken down. I will include that clip here just so you get an idea of what the hell we're dealing with. Okay, so I don't really want to talk about the attack anymore because there isn't very much for me to say that you probably can't Google yourself or haven't already heard. I, however, did think that it was very interesting that Elliot Rodger was specifically mentioned, because I do think that Elliot Rodger is one of the first, I guess, open incels? I don't know. I just feel like he's such a good representation of an incel, which is a terrible thing to be, by the way. Anyways, let me just define incel in case you have been sheltered from the horrible world that is that of the incels. So incel stands for involuntary celibate, so it's essentially guys who can't get girls and blame it on a number of things, like girls are vapid and shallow and bitchy, or they themselves kind of victimize themselves and saying like, oh, I'm not attractive enough, so I'm just never gonna get a girl. And most of the time it just ends up being fully misogynistic. It's not the type of thing where you can turn it into a positive, you know, like if you think that you're maybe too impatient to find a girlfriend, or maybe you have some kind of negative attribute of yours, instead of trying to improve on that, they essentially claim to be oppressed. Make of that what you will. Anyways, I figured it could be helpful to look at some posts from the incel subreddit, which now has been deleted, but there have been plenty of screenshots, and I also took screenshots that were uploaded to Tumblr. So let's just look at this, and let's just quickly remember that this stuff is real. It sounds like satire, but these are real people's thoughts, and that's what I think is most alarming to me. Okay, here's one. Can you imagine having a sexy, thick girl like that as a GF and being able to fuck her every day consensually and actually have her love you? I hate being incel so much. And someone else said, I'd have so many children. And then someone else said, I remember having an imaginary girlfriend like that. It was wonderful. Then she dumped me for imaginary Chad. So imagine thinking yourself so much of a victim that even in your imaginary, which means ideal, utopic, hypothetical world, even there you get dumped for a Chad. Like, that is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and it's choosing to be the victim, by the way. It is choosing to be the victim and nothing else. This one is disgusting, but it has to be shown because I do think that the misogynistic side can either be kind of pathetic like in the previous post, or it can actually be dangerous like with this van attacker. So listen to this. I groped and rubbed my dick against a woman on the bus today. It was a really full bus. I usually don't do these types of things because I'm a scared and cowardly person, but yesterday I was just so depressed and out of it. I didn't care. She was right in front of me and she smelled so good. I just go closer, smelling her hair and towered over her. She turned away and I started just slightly thrusting forward, rubbing my dick against her. There was no place for her to go. I did this for 15 minutes. I even skipped my stop. I didn't want to stop. It felt so good. She then got off practically crying. I hope I do this again. See, now if it were for me, someone should have just thrown you off the bus, because it's obvious that this kind of behavior is disgusting, but I think what is most interesting about this behavior is that it's so contrasted, because in one way you feel pathetic and ugly and like no woman will ever love you, and in the other way you act really fucking shitty so you make it that no woman will ever love you. It's not because of your appearance that women don't like you, it's because you do things like this and because of your shitty attitude. So let's just get that out of the way. So here we have another one. Did you really compare yourself to a Holocaust victim because women don't have sex with you? I wonder why that is. And this person responds, I think we incels have it worse than the Jews in the Holocaust did. The Jews, not born into it, got to have good years before becoming victims, and many got to have good years afterwards. Us incels live in hell every day and there is no hope, only despair.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
So I strongly, strongly hope that this is a satire, but seeing how much these people victimize themselves and how oppressed they think they are, it wouldn't surprise me at all if one of them said something like this. It really wouldn't, and that's tragic. It really is tragic. Here's another one. A gorgeous femoid smiled at me, and I turned into a blue-pilled cuck for a second. So it was like any other day. I was coming home from work on the subway when an 8 out of 10 femoid and I exchanged eye contact. I caught her smiling at me, but I turned away because I was too much of a pussy to keep looking at her beautiful face. I remember her gorgeous green eyes and her heavenly smile was so pure it made me fully blue-pilled for a few seconds, thinking I could get a girlfriend. Only after I got off the train did I realize that I have no chance, and I turned into a bitter, depressed incel once again. So here you see how self-sabotaging these people are, because some of these people, I don't necessarily think all of them are misogynists. I think some of them just have huge problems with self-esteem, and so shit like this happens where they don't even try to talk to the girl or get her number or whatever, and just immediately assume that it's not going to work out. And I think that a lot of these people really have that kind of self-esteem issue rather than a hatred towards women. However, that self-esteem issue can turn into a hatred towards women, so it's not like they're mutually exclusive, but I don't think that they're inherently together either. Here's another one. Women shouldn't be allowed to go to college. They simply only serve as a distraction to budding geniuses like myself. I could have solved I could have solved cold fusion by now if sluts weren't fucking Chad and rubbing it in my face nonstop.
Sure, Jan.
So this is the last one, and I thought we could end with a really good one. Attractive people are evil. They are the reason we suffer. They are the ones who take away the attention. They take our jobs, our land, our importance, and our humanity. They portray us as evil creatures in the media. They jail us and they want us dead. People in every kind of industry I can think of, none of those industries are solely filled with people that are attractive, so that's not, like, obviously none of this is factually correct, but it's just so funny to me that these people are so dead set on being victims that they're even kind of projecting their own views onto, like, Hollywood and the entire world. Anyways, I guess they are the most oppressed group. Move over, anyone who think you're oppressed. No. These are the people who are really having a hard time. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of incels and this whole group of people, I guess, and especially what you think about the Toronto van attacker being an incel. What do you think the implications are there? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and let's get straight into the fan art.